We are live. All right. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of 305 Takes. Today, me and Miles, we're going to be talking about something that's pretty close to our hearts, gambling, and gambling as in sports betting. For those of you that don't know, me and Miles are big into sports gambling, um, almost to like it's become more of second nature. I think to me, I don't know about you.
I mean, for me, it's low key becoming a problem because can't even I can't even sit and enjoy a game now with like out being like, damn,
Worrying.
I should, or not even that. Like, I should have bet this. Like, I can't not have action on a game I'm about to sit down and watch now. It's kind of
Yeah.
crazy. Like, I'll tune into a blowout and be like, damn, should have took a money line.
Should have took the money. Or if not, you say, "Man, I should have took that." Or it's like, "Man, I can't believe it. I bet -6, and look at the scoreboard right now."
Yeah. Or it's just like you tune in and the score's not what you expect it to be, and you're like, damn, I wonder what the spread was. I could have hit this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
so it
mean,
kind of does suck sometimes. It ruins like the purity of sports. Because before I could sit in and just sit there and watch, you know. Now it's like, damn, I could have made some money while I'm sitting here watching.
exactly. I mean, but that's also the beauty of it, man. Because as much as people might like criticize sports gambling, I love it. Because I mean, it does bring an extra element, and it does introduce you to like some new sports. Like I never got into college basketball until I started get betting on it.
Oh,
Never got into it.
I was always a fan of like the highly recruited guys and stuff like that. But yeah, college basketball season long definitely is a grind for gambling, and it gets you like a little bit more information on some teams going into the tournament, so it can help you out with your bracket there too. So
Yeah, but nothing beats like NFL gambling, bro. Because
Well,
bro,
there's just
there's
a million things to bet on. You got first quarters, first halves,
yeah,
you got player props, you got over
s-
unders, teasers.
so much, and it's I don't. Do you remember when we did our first Super Bowl, the Chiefs and the
Yeah,
Bucks?
yeah.
All the prop bets that there
There was
was,
so many. Yeah.
so many, bro,
And
so
that's
many.
for the Super Bowl. There's even more. I mean, you got national anthem, heads or tails on the coin flip. So, and unfortunately, we're still here in Florida, and sports gambling is not technically legal. So, a little offshore accounts and stuff. But we did for a brief moment last year have the Hard Rock Sports betting app open up and then shut down within like the span of like 3 weeks, maybe. I got a
Yeah,
couple teasers in on that one, but so for us here, it's a lot of fun, but you might have to you have to find some loopholes to get around it here.
yeah. Or if you know someone who where sports gambling is legal, just tell them to place the bet for you, and just say, "Hey, I'll share this amount if you just place this bet for me."
Sounded like a PSA for Calvin Ridley.
I mean, hey, that's what he could have done, but he chose not to. But let's get into it because the NFL betting world, it's always crazy. And every year, the biggest ones that always get the most money are the Super Bowl odds.
Yeah.
What are the odds and everything? So I'm going to read off to you some teams from what I saw on the Caesar Sportsbook for in terms of Super Bowl and would you take it? This is just, it's plus whatever, whatever. So I'm going to read off the Ravens plus 2,200.
That's crazy value right there.
That's
Uh,
that's not a bad value for the Ravens.
On the book I have, I don't even have that number. I got 8 plus 18 on
Plus 1,800.
yeah, on the Ravens. The teams I got at 22 are the Colts and the Raiders. So yeah, if you can grab that 22, that's great value right there. But you know, I don't know. I the only thing with props is that I feel like, well, one, it's obviously just a crapshoot, and you're trying to get the best number possible.
Yeah.
But the thing that's crazy is that the Bengals basically made it to the Super Bowl out of nowhere. So
Yeah.
like I don't remember, and I haven't seen anybody even claim to have any type of futures odds on the Bengals. So there's still going to be teams out there, even if you like the number. I mean, I remember the Chiefs last year dropped to like plus 1,000 when they were
Yeah.
going through their struggles and didn't look like the team that they had been, and they still went all the way to the they almost made it to the Super Bowl if they didn't collapse in the second half.
Yeah. I mean, it was close for them, which could make me read their Super Bowl odds for you.
I,
The
I'm.
Chiefs.
I'll tell you right now, I'm betting this, but later in the season.
Okay, the Chiefs. Their Super Bowl odds according to Caesar Sportsbook is 1100.
I'm waiting. I want to get to 15, but I hope they go. I don't hope that this happens, but if they're like 2-3, maybe a 3-4
It'll go
mid-season,
up.
no, I'm gonna smash that. I'm gonna smash that. I don't think that they're gonna necessarily win the Super Bowl, but with
At
Mahomes, like
least getting there.
and you can hedge your way out of it in playoff games because
That's
Mahomes
true.
is
You
going to
can.
get Mahomes is going to get the benefit of doubt even if he's the quarterback on the road in the playoffs. The line's probably not going to be where it necessarily should be with home teams in regards to the playoffs. So you can hedge your way out, and you know I personally think they're going to be on a mission this year, especially Mahomes. I think he wants to show it like I can kind of make whoever I want, have really, really good seasons because I'm just dirty at being a quarterback.
Yeah, because after all the news of, well, all the talking Tyreek Hill has done about the comparison of Tua and Mahomes, I understand on Tyreek's point, like he's trying to back up his new quarterback now, Tua. I have no problems with that. But it's just when you brought in Patrick into like saying, oh, who would you rather have? Like Mahomes' big arm or Tua's accuracy. And once he said Tua's accuracy, everyone's just like, what?
Yeah.
We're making a comparison to
Yeah,
those
but
two. But
he was trying to start the podcast. That's it. He
yeah.
was just trying to
And I
get
was like,
something
hey,
on top.
he's doing what he can to promote his podcast and give his quarterback
Back up his
confidence.
new teammate. Yeah.
I had no problem with it, but I was just like, okay, the way how this is going to come off to a lot of people, it's not going to be the best thing in the world. But I mean, that's one thing. But I will say this: if I do agree, if it could get up to like plus 1500, I actually would bet on that for the Chiefs because that's really good value for them. Really good value. I mean, even if you don't want to bet a ton of money, I mean, if you put like $10 on it, you still have a pretty solid payday out of it.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait, see how the season plays out a little bit for them, and also the thing with the NFL that is different than it applies in the NBA for futures too is injuries. The only thing is
That's
that the
right.
NFL there's more likely to be injuries to more significant players that can alter the way your team plays, unlike the
Yeah.
NBA, which if you lose a star, that's basically it. But there's not the sixth man gets hurt and then the whole team kind of falls apart, which could happen with a running back or offensive lineman for in an NFL team. So I like to try to look at it week by week, see where the big moves are. I mean, I'm sure the Rams you could have gotten a really good price going into the season. They probably would have
Yeah.
been, I would say,
They're at
third.
plus
Yeah.
1200
They're at plus 1,200 this year.
right now.
Or
As of right now on Caesar Sportsbook, they're at plus 1200. But
wow,
I also feel like they're factoring in the Matthew Stafford injury.
yeah,
So that could be because if not, I'm pretty sure they would have been like maybe plus 800.
and
Probably.
potential Super Bowl hangover,
That is
which is
true.
also a factor. I don't know if that can play into the lines, but I personally always look for that.
Yeah. No, that does happen to teams. I mean, it kind of happened to the Bucks because I mean they did lose in the second round and they didn't look great the whole year.
It's because
And
Brady was thinking about the Dolphins, man. Come on, he
yeah,
couldn't get
and we could
Miami off his mind.
and we could also say the same thing for the Chiefs, even though they had an off year because it didn't feel like the Chiefs, but they were so close, which was the crazy part. But that's the thing. I would say the Rams could probably. I mean, right now they're at plus 1200 to sportsbook, so I mean that's definitely a bet I would think about. But also with Matthew Stafford's injury, I don't know how much I necessarily would like to put on that because I mean you do
Yeah,
want to
I
have
would
something
stay away from
realistic.
that one personally. And the only thing is that that's a good number compared to what the NFC is. Because
Yeah,
I mean, personally, I'm not a big believer. We'll get to the Packers later. I wouldn't bet the Packers to win the Super Bowl. And then I think it really comes down to Rams Bucks when you think about it. So you're getting plus 1,200 for
the
a
Rams.
50-50 game, I guess,
Yeah.
because you're not going to get plus 1,200 money line if they play in the
Oh yeah.
playoffs. Yeah.
No,
And,
no
and
way.
and then again, you could hedge it out, but I'm not a big fan of hedging unless it's like I don't think you should ever hedge unless the bet you're hedging is like a bet that you're going to brag about in the future. Like if it's an insignificant amount, like if it's like say 500, okay, people hit on 500, but if you put 500 to win 25,000, okay, then we can talk about hedging out and stuff. But
Yeah.
if it's insignificant, like, okay, yeah, it's cool that I won this and it was a long shot, all right, I get it. But when we get big numbers, then we can start talking about hedging out.
Yeah. What that since you said the Bucks, I'll read to you the Bucks. The Bucks right now they're at plus 750 on Caesar Sportsbook.
That's a little too low for me. I would stay away from that one. I don't think they should
Yeah.
be favored that highly.
I mean, they're right behind the Bills, who are the favorites on
Yeah.
almost every single sports book.
I mean, I would agree with that. I think they personally have the best roster in the NFL, but that's still a little too low for me. I mean, it is the city of Buffalo. They went to 3 straight Super Bowls
And lost
and
all of
lost.
them.
Yeah, exactly. So like
I mean, to the
that
Giants,
has to factor
Washington,
in Dallas.
and Dallas.
Wow,
Man, you got to. That's pretty crazy. You lost
that's
the
tough.
Super Bowl every year to an NFC East team.
That's tough. And I want. There's one last one that I like. That's like kind of a prop. I wish the number was a little bit better, at least for where I have it at. It says Big Five, which is the 5 favorite. So
Yeah.
in my case, it would be Buffalo Bills, Bucks, Packers, Chiefs, Rams. To win the Super Bowl is even plus 100.
Oh,
I kind of like that though, but I wish it was a better number. That's the only problem.
man. That's definitely something. Oh, man. Because, man, how would that. I don't know how that would work personally, because, I mean, it's not a bad bet. It's not a bad bet. Because I do like that one a lot. So, I mean, I'll see what I could do with that one. Okay, wait, never mind. Yeah, sorry. I was looking at some of the other sports book. I'm looking at the sports book for the Chiefs now. The Chiefs plus oh well, yeah, plus 1100. The only reason I'm looking at some of them is like plus 1,000, plus 1020. So there's
Yeah,
some of
you
the
can shop around for future odds for sure. That's the best because you want to
yeah
get the best number possible, and
yeah
different books are going to have different numbers. I believe the Bills are favored everywhere, though. The Bills,
yeah
you might be able to get a
everywhere.
plus 600, but I don't think
There's
you're getting anything better than that.
no possible way. There's one that I like, one that I personally like a lot, and that I will say later on in the show. But I want to mention this one because this is probably one of the favorite teams in all of the internet right now in terms of coming into this year. The Chargers. The Chargers are plus 1,500 for
I
in
mean,
terms of their Super Bowl odds.
have fun with that. I would stay away from that. But I know Justin Herbert's everybody's Prince Charming of the NFL. So
Yeah. Now I would
can
tell
the guy
people
win a
it's.
playoff game first before I have him win in the Super Bowl?
I mean, I would tell people this. I don't mind the bet. I just wouldn't put so much on it because the AFC is stacked. Because the AFC is loaded. So I mean, if you put like a 20 something like below 50 on it, if you don't want to put that much on it, then I could say yeah. I personally don't mind that bet. I feel like the Chargers could be one of those teams where they just steamroll from like start to finish, or they could be one of those teams that catch fire late in the year because of how good deep their roster is. So it is something to look at. But the one bet I really wanted to talk to you about, and we're going to talk about this right now. After yesterday, Deshaun Watson got his punishment. The Browns Super Bowl odds plummeted. Well, I wouldn't say plummeted, just in terms of like really high to back to pretty decent now. They're at plus 3,500.
I mean, might as well bet the Dolphins at that point.
The Dolphins are already up. They're the exact same.
Yeah, might as
The,
well take the Dolphins at that. That's what they're saying. 11 games of Jacoby Brissett will equal. And uh, that's going to be an average team without Deshaun. I know that they got Chubb, and they got Amari now to add to the passing game, but it's not really like they have threats through the air to separate.
yeah.
So they're going to be relying heavily on Chubb, and I guess
Hunt.
Amari to get open, so Jacoby get it to him because Jacoby will give up the ball sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, he can play. It's nothing against Jacoby, but it's like,
I mean, he's just an average quarterback, about
yeah,
as
he's
average
not.
as you can get.
he's an average quarterback. I don't expect him to take me to the Super Bowl. I expect like maybe playoffs considering the roster that
I mean,
Cleveland has because
they do have a good defense too.
yeah, I like the defense a lot. It's just the offense. It went from like really loaded to like now you're very limited. So it's definitely something to see with that. Cause I mean, oh, to go all the way down to 3,500. Cause just like days before, like even before it was 2,500. Now it just bolted all the way up to 35. I know Deshaun doesn't come back until week 13, ironically, against
Week
his former
11.
team. Oh, well, 11 games, but they have a
Okay.
bye in one of those weeks, so
Okay.
it's going to be on week 13.
Okay. That's
So,
crazy. That's
and it's
crazy.
against the
I've
Houston
never heard of an
Texans.
11-game suspension. I've never heard of an odd number
Yeah,
suspension.
it's always even games, always even.
It's so weird. The NFL, man, uh, they dropped the ball on that one. They dropped the ball on that one.
Yeah, but that will be a different topic for a different day. But let's talk about now some futures bets that we have placed for the season. So for anyone that doesn't know, a lot of futures bets that aren't Super Bowl odds are like win loss projections. So maybe Miles put for plus 7.5 wins for a team. And sorry for that, guys. Miles right now just experienced a little bit of technical difficulties. He'll be right back. But we are I will, in fact, now read to you some of my futures bets. So, in terms of futures bets for projected wins, okay, back. All right. So, Miles, start us off. What are some win loss bets that you might have on your
All
books?
right. So I have a couple out here. I have three team win loss over unders out, and then I have one for the division. So the first one, and I'm grateful to get it at this number because here, let me get the updated lines too, so I can tell you because some of these were really based off of value. I like the either plus or minus that I was getting. Of course, I also like the actual bet overall, where the number was at. So let me just pull up the updated line so I can run you guys through this as I tell you the bet. So the first one I have the Chicago Bears under 6.5. So I grabbed this at total wins on the season. And, personally, I already thought that the Bears were going to be one of the most challenged teams as far as roster goes. And then with the 6.5, that basically means they have to win 7 games. So I was going to jump all over that regardless of the number. And I figured it was going to move as people were going to hammer that under. So currently, the numbers that 6.5 doesn't exist. Where I can place book bets. So I have the Bears at 6, even 6, which means you can push too. Over is plus 115, and the under is juiced to 155. So I got the better
Ooh,
number and a great line. So
that's
uh, I'm
actually one to look at.
I'm happy for that one. I kind of like that one a lot. The Chicago Bears under 6.5. And then my next one, this one was a little controversial. The number really hasn't moved. I actually have worse odds than it is right now, but I'm gonna ride with it. It's not. It's just really a play on. I think it's been a little bit too much, and there has to be regression at some point. But I have the Green Bay Packers under 11 wins. I got it at plus 112. And
Okay.
currently it's at plus 115, and the over
Yeah.
is juiced to 140. So it's going to be an interesting one. I think that one might be my biggest sweat, but at some point I feel like this whole Rodgers thing has to bite the organization somehow. They already lost Devontae, Aaron Jones, AJ Dillon, they have that combo on offense, but I think it's going to be an interesting season with these weapons that he has. We've already heard some interesting comments the last couple of days about guys running the wrong routes, and if you drop the ball, you're just simply not going to be out there. And I get that he has Robert Tunyon still, but I don't think he's necessarily a game changer. I just think he was a good security blanket when you have a guy like Devontae taking so much coverage. So I do like this one, and I'm kind of high on the Bears and Lions. So when they play the Packers, I'm gonna sprinkle a little money on the money line on the money line for that game. So maybe I can even out as far as the money I laid on the Packers under 11, but I still like it in the juiced at 112. So I'll take that. Honestly, we'll ride that one out, and we'll see what happens with this whole Rodgers fiasco. And then my last one is just strictly a bet on Mike Tomlin and his ability to
The
coach, and
Steelers.
and his ability to not to not be 500. So I'm trying to look for this one currently. I don't even see it. So I have the Steelers at plus money. Oh, the line has changed. Perfect. I got some good closing line value on this. So I got over 7.5 wins for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I need 8 wins. 8 wins. I think, dude, come on. It's Tomlin, bro. He's a goat.
Yeah.
He's a goat. And now with the Deshaun news, that might help change an L from a W. So I kind of like that. I kind of like that. So I got over 7.5 at plus 105.
That's actually not bad. I do like that one. I like that
Hey,
one.
the
But man,
current number is 7.5 minus 120. So
the
I got
on-
some good closing line value. It closed at plus, and it's at 120 right now.
that it's that's good. The only bet I'm really looking at is still your Packers one.
And
Still
that's
the
my
Pack.
biggest one on the season. That's that's the
Yeah,
largest
because
number I put down.
it was what 11.5, right?
No, just 11.
Just
Just
11
11.
straight.
No,
Okay,
no,
dang.
no hook.
Oh man,
But I like the bear. I low key like the Lions and the Tigers. I like the Lions and the Vikings this year.
Vikings. No, they both have good teams, but man, the only thing I just see with them all the time is they have Kirk Cousins, and then oh god, the rest
I
of
mean,
that
because
division.
listen to the Packers. They got opening game on the road at the Vikings. Then they
Yeah,
have the Bears at home, which I mean, GG's. And then they have the Bucks the next weekend on the road.
yeah.
And I kind of like that.
They
Then
they could
Pat.
they could start off 1-2. They could. They
That's
genuinely
that's what I'm
could.
saying. Then they have the Patriots at home. Give me Belichick, and now come on, Belichick. I need you to cook
I don't
something
know.
up.
I think Rogers might come out with that one.
Come on, Belichick. I need you to cook me something up. The Giants at home. Okay, that's
They
enough.
got
And
that.
then okay, they might go on a. Okay, this is a really good stretch for them. They have Giants at home, Jets at home, and then travel to Washington to play the Commanders, the Commandos,
I feel
the
like they're gonna
Commies.
lose one of those games. I feel like one of those games they were gonna lose just because with
Giants, Jets, Commandos.
one of those will be lost. I feel like they'll beat the Giants just because out of all of them, I feel like they have the worst quarterback.
So what are we at? 4-4 right now.
Maybe 4-4
Okay, and then at the Bills. Come on,
at the
at the
Bills. Yeah,
Bills.
I'll
That's
take the
tough.
Bills. I'll take the
That's
Bills.
tough. Sunday night game. Then we have at the Lions. Give me the Lions all day. Hammering
I'm
that money
I'm
line.
I'm gonna take the pack on that one. I'm
A
gonna take the
hammer
pack.
in that money line. Then they go Cowboys home,
They
Titans
win.
home,
They win.
back to back dubs. I think. Eagles on the road. Come on, Eagles. Give me that. Give me
That
that.
that
Give me
that's gonna
that.
be close. I feel like that one's gonna come down to a field goal.
Give me that. Home Bears. GG. Home Rams. Let's go. Let's go Rams.
I don't know if Stafford is playing. I gotta see how healthy he is because
And
if
then
it's right,
this is
if
where I
it's
think I win or lose my money.
yeah,
This 3 game stretch. On the road against the Dolphins on Christmas. Let's go, Fins, baby. Fins up, baby. At home against the Vikings on New Year's Day.
I like the Packers on that one.
Oh, I don't know, brother. And then at home against the Lions to finish the season.
Oh yeah, they got that in the bag.
Nah. 10-6. 10-6. Easy.
The only reason I'm just saying this because the Lions they still have
Easy.
Jared Goff at quarterback and the Vikings they have Kirk Cousins.
Yeah,
At,
but it's gonna mean more to them. Week 16, they're trying to build something for Dan Campbell. They had the second pick the second pick in the draft. They got Sewell. They got stuff to build on.
I
They're
mean
trying to
they
build a
have
culture. They're trying to show Rodgers that we're not the Lions anymore. And then we're gonna hit under 11. It's gonna be perfect. And we're gonna get that plus 112, and I'm gonna be popping it up. I'm gonna send Rogers. Nice little care package of shrooms. It seems like.
yeah. The one that I would look for when it comes to win loss predict bets everyone. I always say and I want to go back to what Miles started with. He started with the Bears. You want to go look at the bad teams first. I preferably would say that because some of them they are just so bad. Like if any of you saw the preseason game last night of the Bears and Seahawks, man, the Bears offensive line looks so bad, so bad.
I saw the meme where it's like where it's Nick Saban and they're asking him about who's going to be the starter or Jalen Hurts, and he's like, "I'm not going to tell you, so quit
Yeah.
asking." Right?
Yes.
So it's like a meme of Justin Fields, and he's looking at his offensive line. They're like, "Hey, are you guys going to block for me?" And then they insert that clip
Yeah.
of Nick
I
Saban.
quit asking, but because so
I
that way, it's just that win loss, bro. I don't know if the Bears could get to 6. I don't know if they could get to 6.
and I got him at 6.5, so they got to get to 7. Never mind 6. I'm chilling if they get to
Yeah.
6.
Yeah, if they get to 6, I feel like you're perfectly fine. But I would look at them. I would look at the Texans. I got to see the Texans win loss one because that one. I mean, I feel like the Texans
It's
got to be like,
juiced. It was juiced really to the under.
uh, knew it.
Really to the under. Oh, the Texans. I actually kind of like them to hit the over. Was well, no, it's not. It's now it's 4.5, 120 for
Okay,
the over, and plus 100 for the under. I mean, I think they could get to 5 wins though.
they could get to 5. I'll take the over on that one.
The one I
Another,
was look, the one I was looking at, but it was juiced to the under was the Titans.
I mean, the Titans. Honestly, looking at the Titans' schedule, I don't feel like they get to maybe 7. I don't think they get
And
to
they're at
7 wins.
9. They're over
Yeah,
under at
like
9.
I would take the under on that one. It's nothing against them. It's just I like the Colts more, and I feel like the Jaguars can steal a game from them. I feel like the Jags can steal a game.
I think the Jags can steal a game. I think the Texans could even steal a game.
They could too.
Yeah.
I mean, the only surefire win I feel like they have is Week 1 against the Giants.
Damn, like that. You're really low on the Giants. Let's see what their total is.
Bro, it's just when I see Daniel Jones coughing up that football, I know he's not going to get the ball anywhere.
I mean, that's what he does. They're at 7 wins, and the
So,
over
I'm
is
going to look at that schedule.
plus 115. The under is minus 140. So that means people don't expect them to win more than 6 games.
Okay, so
That's
let me
crazy.
see. What's their whole schedule? I know because I was looking for fantasy and then I saw the Giants are playing Titans. All right, so they have them week 1. Week 2 they play the Panthers. I feel like the Panthers win that. Then they have the Cowboys. I'll take the Cowboys. Then they play the Bears. That's a toss up. Then they go play the Packers. They lose that one. They play the Ravens. I feel like they lose. Jaguars, maybe. Seahawks, maybe. Texans. I don't know. You think the Texans can beat the Giants?
I mean, this actually sounds like a pretty easy schedule, honestly. Now that you're saying it.
I mean, the only easy games are probably the Bears, the Jags, the Seahawks, and that. After that, they play the Lions. I actually really like the Lions in that game.
I like
I
the
like
Lions this season.
the Cowboys. Then they play the Commanders, the Eagles, Commanders again. Then they ended with Vikings, Colts, Eagles.
Vikings, Colts, Eagles. They're not winning any of those games.
Yeah. I mean, maybe 5 wins, maybe.
I'm trying
I'll
to
give them.
find my second favorite one to bet on, which is odds for first coach to be fired. I know
Oh,
that
those are always the bets that I love
I know
to
that
always
Matt
ask you.
Rule was like the huge favorite.
Yeah,
And he
I
probably
know.
still is, just
One
because
of
I
you,
mean,
I remember your futures bet on Cliff.
dude, that's why I want to look, because I think that might be my every season futures bet, because I it's got to be a matter of time. The only thing is, it's just hard to be the first one fired unless you're Urban Meyer, because you have to like absolutely like
Destroy
be
it.
terrible. Like you have to be terrible. I saw that Pete Carroll was like second or third, but I feel like he's more likely to resign than he is to get fired at this point.
Yep.
But
But
Rule's a
before
good
we,
choice because
oh no, before we get to bets that we want to look at, I just want to remind you guys this podcast is being held produced by E2G Sports Network, where you could get all your latest sports news on hockey, NBA, NFL, MLB, you name it. It talks about it. You can go on their website. There's other podcasts out there as well. There's a lot of New England Patriots content. So any Patriots fans out there, I'm pretty sure you enjoy this network a lot, and you might come to hate me and Miles by the end of the season, especially Miles. I won't tell you why. Just wait until the NFL season comes. And hey, it's a great platform to get all your sports and latest sports news. And now we'll get back to the podcast. So bets to look at when you said about the futures of coaches. Honestly, for a futures one, bro, oh man, there was a couple of coaches I was thinking about it to put a bet on that they'll get canned.
Yeah. Who are you looking at?
Yeah, man, I was looking at Atlanta.
Atlanta. You think they fire Arthur Smith? I think there's no way.
I after I
I
it's
think
just
there's no
I
way.
feel like because I don't know what direction that team will go on. I mean, they weren't great last year due because
Draft a quarterback. That's
they
the
had a
thing.
bad team last year. They had a bad team this year, and I feel like maybe depending on the quarterbacks that are coming out, I feel like they might get rid of Arthur Smith.
I
And it's not
mean,
that I feel like he has didn't deserve it. I just feel like doesn't deserve to get fired. It's just that's what some of them have done. I mean, because we saw Arizona, the coach before Cliff Kingsbury, he got fired after one season.
yeah, but see, the thing is, he had a quarterback because they had drafted Rosen, and it turned out poorly. My thing is with NFL coaches, if there's a built-in excuse, I feel like teams will always lean on it. So they just moved on from Matt Ryan, their franchise quarterback, blah blah blah. He had a huge cap number, so they had to kind of take this season, punt it as far as off season. Their star receiver gets suspended for throwing a couple of dollars on parlays. So I think there are built-in excuses. I know that they did draft Ritter out of Cincinnati, so they can throw him in there. And really, I mean, it's Mariota and Ritter, so I think that's already a built-in excuse for him. And I don't think they would be too upset about finishing towards the end of the totem pole to try to get one of these quarterbacks that are coming out.
Yeah. If not,
And they got Pitts in the second year, so
I
they
mean, they got
drafted
Pitts.
Drake London. So, there's some building blocks for him to build on offensively. I mean, I think if they get blown out every game or if they're, getting shut out, then potentially we have a question about his
The
future.
one that I feel like that might shock people, just because I feel like he's a good head coach, but I feel like the organization might say, okay, it's time for a new voice. Frank Wright of Indianapolis.
I saw that one. I mean, I just don't. I thought he's been pretty good with what they've given him a deficiency of a quarterback every single year.
Oh no,
And he's made
that's
it
my
to the playoffs.
thing. But I was like, man, he's been such a good coach. But I've just seeing how the NFL has worked. If you're not making it to the playoffs or getting better every year, I just feel like the team is going to fire you.
I agree with you, and I think one of the people that I saw on ESPN on Get Up was Chris Cantu, and he was saying that he doesn't expect Brandon Staley to be the coach of the Chargers next year, which I thought that was the hottest.
That's a hot take.
And you know how I'm all about bashing on Herbert, but his reasoning was that there's been rumors that Sean Payton would be interested in the job, and then I could understand it more.
Yeah.
But then he started going about how he goes forward on fourth down too much and blah blah. And I didn't really agree with that because I do like Staley for that.
Yeah.
But I mean
because he's going for the win. Like,
and
I don't mind that.
Well, and the thing is, everybody expects Herbert to be great. Like I've mentioned it already. So if he doesn't produce, I could see him having a really short leash.
I mean, that could be. I mean, yeah, depending on like how big of the hype was this past off season after making all the additions of Khalil Mack, J.C. Jackson. You just signed Derwin James to a new contract. Everyone knows how good your offense is. Rashawn Slater, he's already now one of the best offensive linemen in all of football. Yeah. And you have a great running game with Austin Eckler.
They're pretty stacked, honestly.
You have great people at every single position.
And the quarterback on the rookie deal, which is the cheat code for the NFL.
Which is the cheat code. So I was like, I could see that. If they don't make the playoffs, I feel like maybe Staley might be out of the job.
It would be interesting to see. I mean, thank God that Justin Herbert kind of blew up on himself and he wasn't, coached by Lincoln Riley or one of these guys in college, because he would 100% be the head coach of whatever NFL team Justin Herbert was on.
Oh my gosh.
And then we would have Cliff Kingsbury 2.0, and I would have to bet on both of them to be the first coach fired every year.
But credit to Lincoln Riley. He's at USC now. He's got
getting that bag.
Getting the bag. And he's got all the offensive talent, they're just transferring to him like crazy.
I mean, because he was
I'm
getting guys to go to Oklahoma
yeah,
based off the offense. So I mean, if
and
he can get
now
guys to go to Oklahoma, wait until he flies you out to LA.
oh
Just
yeah,
wait.
and he has the Heisman favorite Caleb Williams.
And now for your commitment to going to USC, you get to fly to Madison, Wisconsin, and play Wisconsin in the Big Ten.
Oh, that would
or
be
you get to fly to Lafayette, Indiana, and play Purdue. Oh, I can't wait! I can't wait.
that
USC
would
Purdue, 12 o'clock, nine
those are
thirty
best.
East Pacific time.
Those are bets to look at, and other bets I would actually like for people to look at.
Oh,
Look
I
at the
actually have
MVP
one.
odds.
I actually have one for this weekend. I'll give out my first E2G
Ooh,
bet officially from the podcast. So this is a
okay.
teaser. I actually went a little bit crazy on this one because I got a better line than I was expecting. So this is a 6-point teaser in the preseason for this weekend. One of the games is actually the Monday night game. So I wanted to grab Rams +8 and tease that with Jets +7.5. The 6-point teaser I got was actually better. I got Rams 8.5 and Jets 8. So that's my 6-point teaser. The Jets are going to play on Monday, so you have to wait till Monday for that to hit. But if you guys can get, I would say 110 -110 to 115 because I did see that Bovada changed their teaser to -125 because I don't know if you saw this. If you teased every single over combination in the week 2 of the preseason, they all hit.
Oh wow.
Any teaser of the over, any teaser that was possible, they all
Ooh.
hit. And now this week, Bovada changed it to 125. So I'm assuming that they're gonna, try to discourage people from
Yeah.
keep teasing stuff. And that over in last night's game was supposed to hit, and then they reviewed the touchdown and changed
Yeah.
it, and it missed by I want to say 3 or 4 points.
I think so. Yeah. It was. Yeah. I think depending on that. But to go back now, odds I would like for everyone to look at in bets MVP. There's one bet I feel everyone should take at least like I don't care how much money you put on it. I feel like it's a very good bet.
Lamar Jackson, right?
Lamar
Obviously.
Jackson plus 2,200 on the
Oh,
Vegas
wait, are you
Index.
serious?
Plus 2,200
Yo,
for him to win the MVP. That is a
I
bet
love
I
it.
feel
I
like
love it.
everyone should go
I
after for.
love it. I love it. I
That
don't.
is
I
Lamar's
think he has a really good chance of outright winning it or just being in the top 5. And at that number, I mean, that's money in the bank. Even if
because
you don't win it, you're just
he
going to
has
get great
such a
value.
yeah, he has such a big chip on his shoulder going into the season. They traded Hollywood Brown. The contract negotiation is not going the way he wants to. Clearly,
He was
they
injured for the first time in his career. He looks like he
it
got a lot bigger.
yeah, and people are still questioning about him throwing the football consistently. One of them is me, but I'm not at the level of some people. I just say, hey, I feel like if you just get more consistent throwing, I feel like you're fine.
Yeah,
Outside of that, I plus
that's the
now you're
missing
gonna have
key
your
for him. Yeah.
yeah, and now he's gonna have all his running backs back. He still has Mark Andrews. He still has a really good team around him. I love the value of Lamar to win MVP. And another one, uh, I I don't like this one that much because it is his first year starting, but we've seen quarterbacks do some great things under this coach. Trey Lance at 2,800. Trey Lance at 2,800. I feel like
That would be crazy.
because I mean,
I would be super jealous if I was Debo and that man won in his first year.
yeah, like
I'd be super jealous.
I would be I'd be pretty
After
jealous too.
Debo created a position, running back, what do you call himself? Wide back.
Yeah, yeah. I mean he's on here too to win it. He's at plus 8,000.
I mean, but if Cooper Cup didn't win it last year after having a
Yeah,
triple crown, I mean, there's no
there's no
shot for
way he was
position
gonna get
players.
it.
Yeah.
So I'm those
Yo,
are
did by any chance did you happen to see that video of Trayvon Diggs covering?
yeah.
And bro, I actually don't understand what was going on there.
I I
This
want
man
to
had
give
his back to the
yeah.
quarterback.
I want to give Trayvon a little bit of like not to bash on him because I was like, all right, he's probably not going through the whole thing like super hard because they know at the end of the day it is practice. And Keenan Allen, you saw how he just stopped. So he's like,
Yeah.
okay, the play's dead. And then next thing you know, the ball just goes
But
right
bro,
there.
I've never seen that in my entire life. Like, I don't even think a high school kid would even do that just goofing off.
I don't
Like,
know.
I've
I mean,
never seen that.
we don't know, bro. We've seen some crazy stuff on the football field.
That was mind-boggling to me, honestly. Mind-boggling. And I want to give him a break because I don't think he should be picked on as much as he does. Like, I don't know
He's
why
really overhated.
yeah, he is overhated, and I don't understand why people don't act like we haven't watched the NFL for the last 15 years and there's boomer bust guys.
He's
They want to
he's
get the
Dominic
picks.
Rogers Cromartie 2.0.
Yeah,
That's
like
what
I
he
don't.
is.
We have a bunch of those guys. Asante Samuel, like he was great at getting
Gives up a ton
interceptions,
of
and
yards, but gets a
he
ton
would
of
get
picks.
toasted sometimes. Like that's what happens when you're aggressive corner. Like I don't understand. Like I get it that people want to say he's not like on the same level as some of these other guys, but
Which is
I don't think
fair.
you have to hate on him. He still gets a lot more picks than these other guys.
And
Hate it or like, I hate it or love it. You know, that's what it
Yep.
is.
And to talk about his teammate Michael Parsons, I didn't see the odds for Defensive Player of the Year, but I feel like he has to be one of the favorites. So for anyone, if you're looking for a safe bet, I would say probably bet on Michael Parsons to win Defensive Player of the Year because he was very close last year. He was
The only thing
very
is,
close.
the thing about defensive player of the year is just scary because you never know if Donald's just going to turn it on.
Oh yeah, but that's just because Aaron Donald is
That's the scary part.
immense.
I like TJ Watt too. I think he's like really hitting his stride as
Even
a pass
Myles Garrett.
rusher.
I feel like Myles Garrett might have a sneaky good shot.
Yeah, I mean, because bro, he is such a specimen. Like,
Oh my, bro,
he
that
does not
picture
make
last
sense.
year that trended with him like with no sleeves, I was like, what is that?
No, bro, he is a specimen, and like the way he can actually like get up and throw down dunks is crazy too. Like
Bro,
with that power.
Unbelievable. When I see his biceps, it's like the size of my leg. I'm
Bro,
like,
my head,
bro,
just two of my heads on his, just walking around with him.
just going
It's like
boom, and I'm
crazy.
like, what?
That's crazy. Myles Garrett. Yo, shout out to
So-
Myles Garrett though. Same name.
That would be a sneaky good bet to have for Defensive Player of the Year. And my last sneaky bet for MVP. This doesn't happen a lot. I felt it should have gone to a running back last year, but anyone place a bet on Derrick Henry.
You think Henry? I would go Taylor.
The only reason I'm saying Henry because last year before he got hurt, he was on such a unbelievable pace, and his bet right now, according to Vegas Insider, is at plus 4,000.
Yeah,
So I'm like, hey, it's
I'm just
nothing to
scared of
like
the
say,
team.
oh yeah. That's the only thing. To me, if he could get him in the playoffs, I love his chances to win MVP. Because that would be an amazing story. I mean, he'll be the first running back to win MVP since Peterson.
I mean, Taylor really had an argument last year. They were undefeated. I think they finished 8-1 in games he went 100 yards or more. That was crazy.
I was generally going to say vote for Jonathan Taylor if they made the playoffs, but they didn't make the playoffs. So I was like, oh man, it's kind of invalid. But you have Rodgers, who's just unbelievable.
He's all right.
He's really good, bro. He's so good.
He's pretty good. Yeah,
he's so good. But the favorites this year to win MVP is Josh Allen at plus 650.
That roster's stacked.
And then you have Mahomes right behind him at plus 70, Brady at 800, Rodgers at 850, and then Herbert is fifth at plus 900.
Doesn't surprise me. They can't put Herbert too low because people are going to pound that number.
But also, this one I don't get. How is Dak Prescott
ahead of
He's ahead of Matthew Stafford, Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray, Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, Derek Carr, Trey
That's just because he's the Cowboys quarterback. That's all it is. It's because there's so many Cowboys fans that their best player is always going to get bet on.
So
it's like the Lakers. The Lakers are what, like sixth in the NBA favorites, and it's like, dude, I don't think they have any shot at winning the championship. But people are going to bet
because of LeBron. So I mean, those are definitely some bets I always say to look at, and because MVP people, you can. I mean, it's always like Myles said, it was a crapshoot. But if you just to throw a dart or like maybe throw a 10 or a 20 on an MVP and get like a pretty solid payday, it won't be that much, but it'll be something. Unless you want to do like a parlay of like awards, and then I could say, hey, more credit to you. But also, this is sports gambling. Myles, what bet haven't we done that's not a parlay?
It's unpredictable, but that's what makes it fun. It gives you that extra incentive that we were talking about before when, you're like, dude, I want to have some action on this game. And the best thing is that these bets are still going to be there even midway through the season. Yep. Yeah. So you can wait for a team to get their bye or wait for a player to come back injured, or when they get injured and they're going to come back win the season, you can grab a good number still. And
Yeah.
you know how, like, you've seen like how the season has played out so far.
Yep. But I can't wait to come back on like all these Friday episodes and just talk about our bad bets that happen every Sunday. It's like, man, if I just had this
Well,
one game right, I would have had my 17 parlay hit. Or it's like, man, I was so close. I had a 16 parlay. But credit to anyone who bets on college football because that to me is insane.
oh,
College football
I
betting
I
is
already have a
scary to
couple
me.
week ones out there if you want me to give those out too.
Bro,
I
those
have a
are
couple
so
week ones for college football.
scary, bro. Because college football upsets happen every week.
Well, it's
Every week an
college
upset.
kids. That's the scary thing about doing any of that. It's always college kids.
Always
So I
college.
got I have Vanderbilt -6.5 at home, week one against Hawaii, and then I have SMU -9 at North Texas. Shout out my dude Rhett Lashley, former offensive coordinator at UM. Gonna back him in his first game back at SMU, where he'd left to go to UM, and now he's back as a head coach. So I'm backing my dude Rhett Lashley. Listen, I'm kind of a degenerate. I'm trying to get nice at this, so I try to get some value when I can. So I'll be giving out bets. We gave out the first E2G official
Yeah.
wager since we've been on here with them
Members.
recording. Yeah,
Yeah.
so we'll see how that goes. And it's preseason, which is, pretty degenerate to be betting on preseason. But hey, with the teaser, hopefully it's not even a sweat.
Yeah. We're not saying sports gambling is good. We're just
I
saying
mean,
it's
if you're
fun.
responsible with it,
If you're
it's not
responsible
anything to
with
be
your
ashamed
money,
of.
go ahead. But also know you don't want to go down the path me and Miles have gone down. Cause bro, I mean, how many times have we come on and talked about the money we've lost?
Yeah, man, it sucks just sitting there, just like, oh, I don't even want to pick up my phone right now. Like, I'm just dejected.
Yeah, because
That's the worst feeling because there's nothing to even come back on. You're like, I don't even want to touch the Sunday night game. It's Bears at Packers. Like, who am I to, like? There's nothing to even bet in this.
ending. But still, at the end of the day, what happens? You go back to it and you look at it. It's like, could I make my money back if I do this? Yeah, I could do that. All right, and then it always ends up maybe something. But guys, this was so much fun. We can't wait to do this again. We are going to be back on Monday. We're going to be talking fantasy again, but we're going to give you an inside scoop of our 10-man league and the 16-man league of E2G fantasy that me and Miles will give our opinions on because Miles,
That's gonna be insane. I'm
but
scared. I'm still stressing that.
we're
Even though
still
we're
stressed.
sure we're sharing the responsibilities, that is going to be stressful because I don't want anybody at E2G to have bragging rights over me. We're 305 takes to try to take this over, baby. Come on, that's what we
We're
came here
trying to
for.
we're trying to take it over. But until next time, guys, we'll see you then.
Peace.